Welcome, everybody. The NFL regular season is over, and it's time to look forward to the offseason. I'm Joe at the Game House, and today we're doing a Las Vegas Raiders 2024 NFL mock draft. The Raiders are up in our 2024 NFL mock draft series. We're going to be using the NFL mock draft database simulator. I like it because it meshes all the big boards from around the internet together in order to create a massive big board that is not just one site's big board. So it makes it a little bit easier. We're also going to keep it more realistic by not accepting any trades as we go along. It's too early in the process, and a lot of times you don't get the returns that you're going to want anyway. So let's get started here with the Raiders. Started Aiden O'Connell at quarterback last year, so maybe a quarterback could be in play here for him. I don't know if they're going to want to reach on J.J. McCarthy or Bo Nix, but apparently they think that that maybe those guys might go higher than what people are thinking right now. So they could go there. They could go offensive line. They could go corners. Always something to go after. I think if Joe Alt's there, they're going to go with an offensive lineman. He's the best player in the class, I think, that is left on the board right now, and I think he's going to end up being a top 5 player. Nate Wiggins would be enticing because they do need to fix that defense. It seems like we say that every year with the Raiders, but we'll take Joe Alt and hope that a corner falls to 44 or a quarterback that we can take maybe in the second round as well. So Joe Alt played left tackle, had very good success pass blocking. He's a former tight end. I think he can fit into Raiders culture as well. They took his teammate Michael Mayer as tight end last year, and that could really help his progression. Now, if they don't get a quarterback in round 1 or in free agency, this is going to be the pick. Now, we don't know that they're going to get a quarterback in either of those things, so we're going to go ahead and take a quarterback here. Now, who do they take? Antonio Pierce, I don't know who he's going to like necessarily. I'm going to say Bo Nix is maybe a guy that he might like. I have just no reason to say that other than because we don't see his preference for quarterbacks yet. J.J. McCarthy could be the pick, but Bo Nix has a little bit more running ability. I think he's probably going to go higher than J.J. McCarthy based on reports right now. We'll see how that turns out. I mean, Jim Harbaugh says J.J. McCarthy's going to be the number 1 quarterback in the class, which is just absolutely bonkers, but we'll see what happens. All right, pick number 77. Again, we're looking for maybe a corner. If there's no corners that are close or that I think are close at the very least, we'll probably go with a different position here. Oh, I like Mike Sainer still, but he's more of a slot guy. Still could be useful. Let's go with Kalen Carson out of Wake. They need to fix that secondary. I think taking a guy at pick 77 is not the most help. They probably need to address that in free agency, to be honest, especially if they're going to be taking maybe a young quarterback in this draft, maybe helping the offensive line in the draft. But take Carson there in the middle rounds, and then you can go from there. All right, so some options here now. I think McKinley Jackson might be the pick here. Malachi Corley. I'm bringing Malachi Corley. A guy who's got comparisons to Deebo Samuel. He's good at running after the catch. You have Devontae Adams and you have Jacoby Myers. Don't know what else you have. Trey Tucker had an okay rookie year. But I think getting a guy like Corley can help this wide receiver unit and into the future as well. Let's see if there's another defensive lineman. I did think about taking McKinley Jackson the last time around. I think maybe these guys might be around next pick. Maybe not at 208. Let's take Keith Randolph. It's probably going to be something I guess they do like it. Okay. A guy who maybe gets overshadowed by his teammate, Jarzon Newton, who might be a first-round pick. Keith Randolph is also a pretty good defensive lineman, can provide some depth on the defensive line to start. And now at pick number 208, and the rest of them, honestly, is we have a couple here back-to-back almost. We're going to pick guys who we think can provide special teams, depth, all that stuff. So with pick 208, I'm going to go... I never really do this. Let's go Tory Taylor. He's just an expert at punting, putting balls inside the 10-yard line. He's probably going to go to some team here at the back end of the draft. And then it gives us a chance to go for some more special teams player here. We're going to go Trevin Wallace out of Kentucky, a guy who really stepped up this past year. I think can provide that special teams boost to the Raiders. And then Cody Schrader. You lose Josh Jacobs in free agency. Zeus White looked really good for the Raiders in relief. Do they sign a free agent maybe? Do they get Cody Schrader some depth? They could probably do both, honestly, and still be okay. And let's go Tanner Bortolini, interior offensive line. Let's get some depth there at pick number 226. That Wisconsin line always produces. We're going to start recapping the draft now. We have Joe Alt, the offensive tackle at Notre Dame. May not be there when the draft comes around, but too hard to pass up when you have a chance to get a possible franchise left tackle at pick number 13. Bo Nix in round 2 reportedly might go higher in the NFL draft than people think, But at 44, I think that's within range where you can say, okay, let's take him. He might be an upgrade over Aiden O'Connell. Kalen Carson, the corner out of Wake at pick number 77, help out that secondary. Malachi Corley, the wide receiver out of Western Kentucky, and more of a run after the catch type of guy, can help out if you move on from some receivers this offseason, if someone demands a trade maybe, or just give you depth, or maybe be an upgrade over Trey Tucker. I guess it remains to be seen. Keith Randolph, a guy who I think can fill a role in the NFL, maybe not be a star on the defensive line, but fill a role there. Torrey Taylor, the punter out of Iowa. Trevin Wallace, linebacker out of Kentucky. Cody Schrader, running back out of Missouri. And Tanner Bordolini, interior lineman out of Wisconsin. Now, the last couple of picks probably going to provide more depth in special teams, especially, well, when we picked a special teams player for sure, than the other guys on the draft. But let me know what you think of the draft down in the comments below. We'll be doing more mock drafts before we get to the NFL draft this year. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.